Estadio Algarve by moonlight. 20,000 people, 74 competing crews, one super special. The atmosphere inside the stadium was electric, and even more so when the Fords of Jari-Matti Latvala and Mikko Hirvonen took to the stage bearing the national flag. It was a good omen as Mikko took victory and the overnight lead. Portugal was set to be a huge challenge for the team, but spirits were high on the first service of the day, with the crews ready to face Rally Portugal head-on. The morning began with 3 stages which would be repeated in the afternoon. Temperatures soared to 27 degrees on the stages, and the abrasive gravel tested the tyres to the maximum. After a tough opener, Mikko and Jarmo were in 4th position, and Jari-Matti and Mika were in 6th.
The car is working really well, and for sure Ogier is quite far ahead, but still 2 long days to go, so we haven't given up yet. It's still going to be a good fight, I hope.
There are over 60 people that make up the on-event team, and they're all on site from first light.
Well, obviously target is to try to catch 6 rains, and especially Ogier. But it's going to be a tough job, but we'll try.
You look a bit tired this morning. You feeling fresh or not?
No, I'm always like this in the morning. I'm never kind of awakened before start of the stage, so I take it easy, and then when the stage starts, then I'll be okay.
Malcolm, it's the start of day 2. Both drivers have good road positions out there today. What's the plan for the team?
The plan is to do what some of the people did in that road position yesterday, and hopefully try and get to nearer the front. And I think again we're in a good position for hopefully making sure that we can get hopefully the right road position for tomorrow, because I think okay, there's only 80 kilometres or something tomorrow, but unless you've got quite a margin of a lead, then you wouldn't certainly again want to be running first car on the road tomorrow.
Breakfast is a team affair. Plans and hopes for the day are discussed over steaming cups of coffee. But day 2 would bring bitter disappointment early on for Jari-Matti and Mika. Just 400 metres into stage 9, Jari-Matti sent his Ford Focus RS into a spin after hitting a bank. They then made contact with a tree. Both crew were okay, but their adventures on day 2 were over. Mikko and Jarmo were left to fly the flag for Ford on the afternoon tests, and as was the case yesterday, looking after the tyres was a major factor. At the end of the day, they lay in 5th position overall, but still with a good chance of reaching the podium, just 21.7 seconds behind 3rd. Co-driver Jarmo tells us the plan for day 3.
Road position is perfect for tomorrow. Okay, both Sebastians, they are too far away, but maybe for the podium there is a small chance if everything goes like we want.
And how much will you guys push for that?
For me there is only one program tomorrow, and that's flat out, and see how far it goes.
Jari-Matti and Mika arrived back at the service park, and it was time to catch up with family and greet the fans who had travelled so far to see them. Your rally ended a little bit prematurely today, at least. What happened out there?
Well, the second stage this morning, very fast corners in the beginning of the stage. There's like a left-right combination, and I went slightly wide on the left, and then in my nose say that right is flat over the crest. So I tried to keep going flat, even though my line was not right. And then I went wide at the right corner, touched the bank, the car spun, and for 30 meters it went backwards, and then hit the only tree what was there.
Then Jari-Matti's car arrived back. The team were quick to assess the damage, and so were the FIA technical delegates.
The damage is just too much. Well, we could try and make some repairs here and get it out. It's just too extensive.
So it's not a case then of the roll cage being damaged, is it?
There are a couple of roll cage tubes that are slightly damaged. We could repair those, but just the work that would be involved to get it back in the morning just would be too much for the service.
The Ford Focus RS WRC gets loaded onto the transporter bound for the UK. The final day, Rally Portugal had already claimed Jari-Matti and Mika. Mikko and Jarmo would now aim to score as many points for the team as possible.
We came here knowing that it was going to be a difficult event, but it has turned out a lot tougher than we'd expected. And I think it's unfortunate for Jari-Matti as well. You know what happened yesterday. It's his second year now coming to Portugal and having a big accident. I think if that hadn't happened, we'd have been in a much stronger position today, but we just have to make the most of what we got now.
5 stages made up the final day, and an early start brought with it the challenges of hanging dust as there was little breeze, and also low sun affected the drivers. Mikko and Jarmo reduced the deficit to 3rd on the opening 2 tests. The fight for the last place on the podium was still on. It's going to be a fight this afternoon.
Yes, it is. We're gonna take our gloves off and go crazy about it. Yeah, we're gonna have a good fight all the way to it.
But the repeat run of the morning test took their toll on the tyres, and Mikko and Jarmo settled for 5th position going into the final Super Special. However, Petter Solberg, who was just ahead of Mikko in the standings, made a costly mistake on the final stage, and Mikko claimed 4th overall to remain 3rd in the championship. Mikko, it's the end of Rally Portugal. It hasn't been the event Ford wanted here, hasn't been the event you wanted. How are you feeling at the end of it?
Well, we couldn't do any better, that was it. But it just, in the morning it was okay, but then in the afternoon it just destroyed my tires straight away when I started to push, so it just didn't work out. But of course, we've been struggling a bit now in the last few rallies, and anyway, I think personally I came back pretty well. I feel good about my driving again, but we have to think of why we are not fast enough. But 8 rallies to go. We'll see what's going to happen at the end of the year.
Gerard, it might not be the result the team wanted here in Portugal, but the important thing is Mikko has come to the end of it. He has picked up points. We've got to look to the future.
Yeah, I mean, this is a natural break in the season now, and Mikko has not had a good weekend in terms of getting enough points for us, but we're still in the run for the Manufacturers' Championship, and that's important. And as we take a break in the season now until Bulgaria, we need to consolidate what we've got, look to see how we can come back fighting much harder in the second part of the season.
Ian, as the service park gets deconstructed around us, it's another end to the rally. It's not gone quite the way the team expected, but there are natural highs and lows in any team season. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a tough patch at the moment.
It's a long season, and if you think of where we were at this stage last season, we were much further behind in the championship. We recovered from that, so we're certainly not over downhearted as a result of what's happened here, but clearly there's a lot of things to think about.
In the first half of the season, Ford have notched up 2 wins, 1 second and 2 third positions. The World Rally Championship now takes a short break until mid-July. It's time to regroup and form the strategy for the next half of the year. It may have been a tough start to the season, but it's far from over.